come round feeling better in the here and now and react better and stuff as they move on in the future. That's essentially what timeline therapy is in a nutshell. There's elements of Barry St. John's hypnosensory therapy. I invented that title, hypnosensory therapy, for him. I'm just saying that to show off, really. You know, just because I did. This resulted, again, there's beer as a common factor here. I was sat with Barry years ago in a pub, and he was saying, oh, I do timeline therapy with a toilet roll with clients. I get them to roll out a toilet roll on the floor, and then walk along the side of the toilet roll, and then stop when they feel that the point in their mind on their timeline that was negative. And I get them to physically then kneel down and rip out that sheet of toilet paper and destroy it, and then take, say, another coloured toilet roll and take a sheet from that, and you give them a choice. Which coloured toilet roll do you feel is right to do to know that that point's healed positively and permanently for you? And then pick a colour, take a sheet and put it into that gap, so that there's no gap in their timeline. You remove something, you've got to replace it with something. And he'd do timeline therapy with the toilet roll. And he was the first who told me about the idea of the egg whisk. And a whole manner of stuff like that. And I said, you need to teach this to people. And he said, well, will you promote a seminar? I said, yeah, but you need a title. And I came up with hypnosensory therapy, because it was apparently using hypnosis, and they were doing stuff physically, so it was sensory and it's therapy. There's elements of Gestalt therapy by Fritz Perls. Gestalt meaning feeling, essentially. Elements of provocative therapy, well, there is if you choose to be. That's basically those moments when you turn around to the client and go, that's bollocks. You're talking shite. How does it really make you feel? And you provoke them into a reaction. It has to be done very carefully. If you want to look into that more, Frank Farrelly is your man. There's, in the way I'm going to explain stuff to you, you can bring in elements of magic tricks. Art therapy is involved. Inner child therapy, the idea that within us all is this child, and maybe all that's required is if that child had been told everything was okay at that time, given a hug, might not have reacted the way they did, and then it might not have had that build-up on the effect of the pattern matching in the brain and it being amplified negatively. So you hypnotise them or take them through an eyes closed relaxation process and meditation, call it what you will, and get them to imagine going back to being that age. It's almost as if, I always say it's almost as if you can imagine that it's like you're 8 again, but you're kind of detached, so that then that way you're avoiding it being too traumatic for them. Just in a way that feels right for you, so they can choose to fill in the blanks however they want, in a way that feels right for you. Just imagine now, and you give them a, well, Barry St. John said, give them a cushion. I, as you'll see later, use these little teddy bears, so they can hug it against their chest. Oddly enough, you could argue, right near their heart chakra. Balancing their chakra point, possibly, maybe, as well, because of the vibrational level. If you want to believe it, that is what's happening. There's use of visual and verbal metaphors, obviously, as we'll come to. There's pendulum power, subconscious direct communication can be involved in this. If you want to pull in EFT, TFCT, EMDR, fucking whatever set of acronym bullshit letters you want to come up with for doing an impression of Zippy from the kids' programme Rainbow, going, oh, I feel so much better now, because you've apparently tapped meridian energy points on your face or your body. You can bring that in, that's cool. Havening, you want to give yourself a warm hug. That feels better, which is essentially what fucking havening is. A bit of affirmation, and then giving yourself a hug. You can do. Aromatherapy arguably is involved because of your candles or your oils you might be putting in. You can pull in dreams, taping, steps, whatever else you've learnt elsewhere. Ericksonian stuff we've covered. Guided visualisation. I could carry on and on and on. That's all I've written down with bullet points. The point is, anything you already know can be brought into peace. Anything you don't already know but make up for yourself can be brought into peace. any other bullshit ritualistic process that's out there that you buy a book of and go, well, that's interesting. That'd be a bit fun to do for the crack, to keep myself occupied during a therapy session, to make it interesting for me. You can build it into peace. So you, as the therapist, can have peace of mind that this is highly adaptable and flexible. Because it all hinges around a central point. This is the only element you could say is almost like a structure. But what you do with that is whatever the fuck you want. It all centres around not just one of these. You can use multiple ones, as I'll explain. It centres around this. You will have images of this in the bootcamp members area within 48 hours to be able to print out. Or better still, as you'll discover, you may find, rather than using up all your ink and spending loads of time doing that when you can be treating clients or marketing yourself, you can get these printed probably cheaper than you can produce them yourself, with your name, website and telephone number across the bottom on both sides, for arguably less than you can produce them for yourself, but certainly a much higher quality. So it's like really quality, thick artboard for the ones that you use in the session and give to the clients. It's about giving them something tangible to take away as well. But you will also probably destroy some of these in sessions as well. So you will get through quite a lot. If you give the client, depending on what route you go down, say 3 of these at least, and you've ripped a couple up in the session, every client you're using 5 of these, you do only 2 clients a day, it's 10, it's 50 a week. So, you know, getting 100 of these at a time, or 250 at a time, or whatever, Britney and Stuart, whose details will be in what gets uploaded, will probably work out cheaper and easier for you. You can concentrate then on marketing yourself and making money. They will end up costing you each of these pennies. So even if you give the client a few and destroy a couple in sessions, it's going to be way less than £1 for everything you destroy. But you've just built that into your therapy cost anyway. So it's all about this, and this is not just a double-sided printed board of images. No. That is to remove from it its true worth. This is a double-sided board with 20 images on one side and 19 on the other. Hey, very important that. Because 20, when you add it up numerologically, 2 plus 0 equals 2, which numerologically has got the vibration of relationships and harmony. The other side's got 19 images, because 1 and 9 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1, which numerologically has the vibration of new beginnings, changes, growth. Now, it's up to you whether you choose to believe that that's got a vibrational energy level effect on them. But believe me, if someone's into numerology and shit, and you point this out to them, they'll instantly buy into it if they've got a preconceived idea. And if they haven't, as long as you keep a straight face when you tell them, you say, you may notice there's 20 images on one side and only 19 on the other. Don't worry, it's not a printing error. It's meant to be like that because 9 and 1 is 10. On 1 plus 0 is 1, which is new beginnings, a time to move forward in life. And the other side, 20, 2 plus 0 is 2. It's about harmony and balance. It's the yin and the yang. And whatever other bullshit you want to come out with. I'm saying bullshit flippantly, but obviously we've already explored the fact that there is an underlying truth to everything having a vibration and an energy and a balance to it. And also, it's because I've named this the energy board. It's an energy board. What the fuck's an energy board? Well, it's whatever you want it to be. That's the entire point. It's a bigger version of both sides of the energy board. It's a board of images. Look at the time. Are you okay? Yes. Which I'm going to point to them. It doesn't matter if you can't see them that clearly, because all of this, what I'm reading, will go into the boot camp members area. This that I'm reading as well, you would actually give to your clients with the energy boards that you would give them. So they've got something physical and tangible to take away. You know, it's not just talking to them and they're gone. They've got something to take away, something to focus on, something to believe in. It's their lucky charm, if you like. So they'll obviously get what the symbols mean, because when they're at home, they might want to check it out for themselves. So we've got this that looks like a kind of weird musical note, spirally thing, but with a bit on it like an upside down musical note. That is, and if I say the things wrong, I really don't care, to be honest. But it's sort of, it's called Choi, Cho, Ko, Ri, Riki symbol. The Choi Ku Ri is a power symbol. Riki energy will flow without using it. However, when you use it, it is believed that the energy increases inside of you significantly. It's like changing a bulb in a light from 50 watts to 500 watts, gets brighter and more powerful. Use this symbol at the beginning of a healing session and at any other time that additional power is needed. This symbol is specifically for healing within the physical body. It's very important. These are very important. You might think, why am I going through these? You'll see why very shortly. Some of these may not actually go, oh, you know it is. No, there we go. Hon Sha Zi Shu Nen. Probably not said that way, but Reiki symbol. This is the Reiki symbol that can transmit the Reiki energy across space and time, distance healing. This means the energy may travel across a town, across a room, and even across several places or countries all over the world. It transcends distance and can be used to connect time, either in the past or the future. I didn't make this shit up, by the way. This is, if you take these images, and the images individually will also be in the boot camp, are separate images. If you were to put them into something like Google image search or TinyEye reverse image search, you'd find thousands of websites that will give you the exact same, maybe not word for word, but meaning the same descriptions. So this is long-standing genuine meanings of symbolism. Long-standing, proven to be the case. Which, if people go and check out for themselves out of curiosity, they'll see that it's genuine, it's got that level of credibility, otherwise there wouldn't be thousands upon thousands of people saying that this is the case, would there? That's very important. Kind of square, which looks a little bit like a SWAT sticker inside, it isn't, but these ancient healing symbols were used in Tibetan healing temples. They can strengthen your Reiki energy and provide specific kinds of healing for different types of problems. They are believed to enhance meditation and all forms of prayer or spiritual endeavours. Excellent. The kind of looks like someone's gone mad with a kid's spirograph. This symbol can be placed on the underside of your massage table. We're not doing massage, but apparently it can be placed on the underside of your massage table. Under your mattress, pad at home, drawn on a garment, hung on the wall, or simply look into the symbol for meditation. It provides healing energy to the person close to it. This is what thousands of other people have found. Who am I to disagree with them? No, I've seen the folly of my ways. Clearly I missed the point. It's all vibrational energy. So of course it does this. The Eye of Horus, an ancient Egyptian symbol associated with the occult. Occult merely means hidden. Used in modern witchcraft for wisdom, prosperity, spiritual protection, good health, and to increase clairvoyant powers, the ability to see things more clearly, open your eyes, use your reticular activating system. Entertain the idea that there's more possibilities out there. Protect against thieves and the evil eye. Into that winky wanky stuff. The spirally sun. Several shamanic traditions consider the sun to be the first shaman. That is the first healer of people. The spiral sun comes from the Anasazi petroglyphs as a symbol of healing. The symbol stands for the natural movements and rhythms of life, the constant motion of the universe. It is representative of the unique healing power that is being radiated all around the cosmos, all around us, which helps us recover from setbacks and fall back into a natural rhythm and healthy harmony of life. Isn't that what all clients want? To grow and feel the change. We've got the abracadabra inverted pyramid with abracadabra wrought round. Was one of the original talismans, apparently magic spells. Abracadabra, an incantation very commonly used in magical tricks. Abracadabra is an ancient alchemy symbol that was used for curing lethal illnesses and augmenting healing. It was written in form of an inverted triangle on an amulet, which the patient / sufferer then wore. The power of the Kabbalistic charm supposedly made the disease go away. The word abracadabra is believed to have been derived from the initials of the Hebrew words for Father, Son and the Holy Spirit. Another view is that it originated from an Aramaic phrase that meant I create as I speak. Okay, slightly more familiar to some, more likely. This, it just looks like a kid's crap drawing of a person with no legs, just a stump. The Ankh, it means regeneration of life through water. Water, we're going to be getting to drink water, remember that. It all links together. This Egyptian symbol represents eternal life and provides magical protection. Also represents the regeneration of life through water. The majority of the human body is water. We're conductors of electricity. Going back to nature. Many other wisdom traditions use this symbol with some variation in the vertical and horizontal cross. Often the loop at the top is used to represent holy water circulating the body. It's a particularly good one for reasons we'll come back to shortly. Because it's very easy to make out a Play-Doh, or it's very easy to draw. Some of the others are more complicated. This, which has got a load of Chinese symbols on it, yin and yang in the middle and words around it, that you'll only be able to read when you've got the image on your computer. It's called Bagua, balance in all relationships. The centre of a balanced life and the health of the home is attained using this Feng Shui symbol. Yes, Feng Shui is on the board as well. Everything's there. The centre of a balanced life and the health of the home is attained using this Feng Shui symbol. Each position represents a specific life correlation to the health of the individual and their home. The feminine wisdom eyes of Buddha, this one at the top. Through these eyes we are reminded to look at the world with deep compassion, as experienced through the divine feminine. The third eye represents spiritual awakening. The Sanskrit symbol below the eye shows us the unity of all things. Look at the world with deep compassion. Look at dictionary definitions, the thesaurus of that. You could also arguably say that that ties into law of attraction stuff, namely having an attitude of gratitude and being grateful for what you've got and being open to accepting things. Buddha peace symbol, it's a Buddha in like a circle with petals round it. The rebirth of peace happens inside. There is no path to peace. Peace is the path. Yes, it is! Peace! Psychophysio, energetic alignment of changing emotions. And energy is the path to change. It genuinely is. So, you know, they were prophetic when they wrote that. They must have known this was coming. I know, freaky shit, eh? That's what they call the Dharma wheel. Looks a bit like a ship's wheel type thing. The eightfold path to enlightenment. In the Buddhist tradition, these 8 paths are represented by this wheel. They are right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Using this symbol strengthens the devotion. My deciphered version of that is positive thoughts tend to breed positive actions tend to lead to positive results and the outcomes that people would actually desire in life, whereas negative thoughts lead to negative actions or inactivity, lead to negative outcomes and shit in life. That would be the way I'd decipher it, just because, fuck it, because that's what I believe it truly means. Got this that looks like a weird Chinese drawn house or symbol. The Chinese symbol apparently for recover. It probably means your mother's a bitch, but All the websites I've looked at say that's the Chinese symbol for recover. So if all the other deluded tree-hugging, happy slappy types think that's the case, let's go with what everyone already believes, rather than making it difficult for ourselves. It stands for recover. Whilst this symbol in Chinese has a very specific meaning, in English it is far more adaptable and can symbolise many of life's greatest achievements, including to get over an illness or shock, regain a former condition after a financial loss, reuse materials from something that was previously thought of as useless, and to regain or make up for some action. Again, it's a metaphor for change, doing something differently, thinking differently, acting differently. Lots of these are metaphors for that. So you could argue, why don't we just have one symbol then? No, there's a reason why we have lots of them that will come to it. It's not just because there's 19 on one side and 20 on the other for the numerological vibration. It's bigger than that and more psychologically impactful than that, I promise you. This one here, fuck knows, it's another Chinese symbol, but it's apparently called recover and heal. Similar to recover, this symbolises many of life's achievements, but more specifically points to the fact that it is time to move forward to the next stage, brackets, healing process. This can indicate the need to give, or the current process of forgiveness, both to others and ourselves, and the opportunity to accept apologies for those who have done wrong, brackets including ourselves. I say that kind of relates in with removing all that self-blame, shame, guilt and regret that I spoke about earlier. It also ties in with You Can Heal Your Life. Susan Jeffers, is it? Have I got the name right? You Can Heal Your Life? No. I'm thinking of somebody else. You Can Heal Your Life.
She's just died.
Yeah. She was the founder of Hay House Book Company. Louise Hay. You Can Heal Your Life. Yeah, the founder of Hay House Publishing Company. She says that people with problems, you'll see a correlation with my idea of getting rid of the self-blame, shame, guilt and regret. The way she summed it up is that the acronym FAR, frustration, anger and resentment is what she says hold people back. And that the way to get past that and move on and make change is through forgiveness, acceptance and realisation. Which I say ties in with the essence of what the vibrational energy of this symbol is, if you believe so. Yes, to the top, another Chinese symbol, double happiness, romance and relationships. This symbol is like a magnet to attract a special relationship, romance and bliss. Place it where you can see it all the time to strengthen the vibrancy of an existing relationship. This one here, the flower of life, seed of life, the pattern of creation. These symbols, that one, represents pattern of life as they emerge from the great void. Everything comes from thought by the Creator. That sounds religious. My deciphering of that is that you are your own creator. Hence abracadabra, I create as I... They say as I speak, but I say that you create as you think. What you think becomes your own reality. You are your own creator. Heaven and hell is created by up here. As expansive creation continues, so do the interlocking rings. This symbol is found in all cultures on the planet, and variations of it have been used to represent equations that define mathematics, music, religion, evolution and medicine. This one here, again, I'll probably pronounce it wrong. It doesn't matter, you can check this when it goes in the boot camp. Gayatri Yantra, the illumined mind and universal knowledge. This symbol represents the illumined, I'm sure that should say illuminated, but it says illumined, mind and far-sighted wisdom. The words and sounds of Gayatri Yantra and the Gayatri Mantra comprise the most powerful of Vedic affirmations. Using this symbol removes the possibility of making wrong choices in life by empowering all truth. It focalises complex and cosmic wisdom about all earth elements, plants, trees, animals, insects, fishes and birds, facilitating an understanding of the whole life creation. Deciphered, my version of that is, it's about doing things naturally. Nature. You fuck about with nature, you get unnatural results, hence heavily processed food is being shown to cause illnesses, arguably possibly cancer, because it's got all manner of chemical shit put into it. You go truly natural, you tend to get natural results. It enhances the ability to sharpen one's intellect and spiritual awareness. Used on water, or used in conjunction with taking a drink of water and saying your affirmation, which is going to be part of the important seeming rituals, it carries the harmonic resonance of the wisdom of all life. On a larger universal scale, the use of Gayatri Mantra and the sacred symbol, the Gayatri Yantra, representing those enlightened sounds that come when the syllables are repeated, radiates vast and powerful knowledge to all beings. Someone's read that, or you've told them, because that's the one they've selected. You don't explain every single one of these to the client. That wouldn't be happening. Well, you could do if you wanted, but I don't see the need to. They're going to select one or two, right? And you're going to explain to them what they mean. Yeah, probably three for reasons we'll come to shortly. And you'll explain what they mean, but when you say what they mean, and you give them this to keep as well, something tangible, and if they were to go away and check, they'd find this on thousands of websites, which increases the credibility factor. Yeah, it's not just you saying it. And anyway, you're the perceived authority figure, so why should they question it? You say it with a straight face, they believe it. So these, arguably therefore, what you read to them or tell them, are hypnotic suggestions. And all of them, the way they're written, are ideas of that this is going to empower change, positivity, negative turn into positive. Well, it's all the stuff you want in a flipping therapeutic session. Hexagram, Star of David, hexagram, it's the union of opposites. In Judaism, I never pronounced that right either. Who cares? Oh dear. Probably the Jews. Is that Jewish? I don't fucking know. It's spelled Judaism.
Judaism.
Yeah, is it to do with the Jews?
Yes.
Well, it's no skin off my nose. But think about that one. Anyway, it symbolises the connection between God and man, with the up-pointing and down-pointing triangles overlaid. It can also mean the union of male and female. The centre represents the heart of power. Can be a focal point. Can be somewhere you get them to squiggle their initials if you want to make it personal to them. It is used in occult circles and Kabbalistic practices to represent the union of opposites. Think yin and yang. And also the spiritual energies of heaven pointing down and man pointing up. Man, as you create up above, i.e. in your brain, so it happens down below on earth, i.e. in your reality. It also represents pagan occult references to fire, upward, water, downward. Finally, the triangles represent sacred chalices. The downward chalice pouring divine love to the earth dwellers from the heavens, or mind, thoughts into actions, reality in the world, is how I decipher it. And the upward chalice, the receiving of blessings of God, or as I would say, positive self-internal talk. Taking that little voice and stopping it saying negative shit. Changing it so it talks in a funny voice so it doesn't bother you anymore, or rituals like that. Nearly there. Fine. No? Yeah. I know I'm getting confused because that should have been at the top, but it doesn't matter. There is on here, and in fact there is, the lotus. From the mud comes the divine. This powerful image symbolises harmony, spiritual illumination, and unlimited potential. The lotus is a water lily which rises from the sludge of muddy waters. It reinforces the concept of resurrection, used as a reminder that this too shall pass, whatever that problem is. It symbolises forgiveness, gratitude and compassion, and invites a balance between humility and pride. In other words, it's a visual metaphor for frustration, anger, resentment, release them, Louise Hay stuff, or getting rid of the self-blame, shame, guilt or regret. Or law of attraction would say, an attitude of gratitude and compassion to the world. the ping pong, it's not called the ping pong, I'm just doing that, there. The lunar goddess, regenerative forces of the cosmos, an ancient symbol of the life-giving power in the universe. Luna, the moon energy, is the keeper of wisdom and all magical powers on Earth, with deep connection to the planets, tides, waters, and herself, the cycles of the moon. She is the sacred feminine gateway to the divine and the light within darkness. It's all metaphor again, but you know, people talk about, oh, you know, he's hiding his, might be with the bloke, he's hiding his emotions because he feels he has to be a man. Sometimes it can be helpful to make the client explore their feminine energies. The same way sometimes it can be helpful to take the female and help her explore the masculine energies. That's effectively what he's pointing towards. It's the sacred sound of creation. Yeah, the Buddhists, you know, saying it when they put the fingertips and the thumbs together and they go, nice deep breath in. And then, and they're there for fucking ages. And it calms them, it meditates, but it helps them focus on whatever. Apparently it's the vibrational frequency, the mother of all mantras. It's the primordial sound by which the earth was created, according to this, so it must be true. The past, present and future are all blended into this one all-inclusive sound, and the symbol it represents. When chanted, Om, O-M, or A-U-M, Om, the vibration frees the consciousness to remember its natural state of connection to infinite source energy or creation, or universal consciousness, if you believe in that. By using this image, the concept of infinite love and creation is conveyed beyond the limitation of words or ideas. It's also a fixation of attention if you get them to do that, and the breathing that normally goes with it, breathing in and out deeply and regularly, helps oxygenate the bloodstream and therefore helps relax the mind and the body, which therefore puts people into a naturally more relaxed state and suggestible state for whatever suggestions you may give them, whether it's through visual metaphors, physical metaphors, or whatever else you end up choosing to do. Yes, pentagram, which I thought we'd already covered, but it's in there again. This star encased in a circle with 5 points, 1 pointing upward, has its own meaning. The upward point of the star is representative of the spirit. The other 4 points all represent an element: air, earth, fire, water. It doesn't say this bit here, but I'll just add into that that people, if they believe in astrology and star signs, only if they believe, otherwise it will sound too winky-wanky, but if they believe it to any degree, then they will believe they're either an earth sign, a fire sign, an air sign, or a water sign, and you can take their preconceived ideas of what that's supposed to mean about them and use it in a positive sense to harness what they already think to steer your therapy session. All these things contribute to life and are part of each of us. It is used in the Celtic and other mystical traditions, as well as many religions. So we've got Celtic, shamanistic, we've got Druids, we've got bloody the Jews, we've got flipping the Chinese shit, we've got everything in this. This is powerful fucking shit, this energy, but I mean, it's powerful shit. The weird square that's deformed with stuff in it. The Sri Yantra, meaning divinity in all forms. This is a Hindu or Sanskrit symbol of aspects of divinity and the creative forces of the universe. It has a powerful effect on the mind and can generate increased coherence in our brains when we meditate on this symbol, creating a balancing and calming influence. Just think, if somebody believes that, or maybe, more to the point, if somebody accepts the fact that that's true, because clearly it is, thousands of websites say it is in books, then they focus on that when they give themselves the affirmation 3 times in the morning, 3 times at lunchtime, 3 times in the evening, or whatever that may be. You know, I'm no longer, you know, each time I see spiders, they are my friend. To overcome a phobia, whatever it may be, you can fill in the blank. If they believe that that's what that means, then it's going to make it more powerful for them. And even if they don't, if they're focused on it, a fixation of attention, which narrows the attentional point to the exclusion of everything else, arguably bypasses the critical faculty of the brain and therefore means that the affirmations, suggestions, prayer, auto-suggestion, call it what you will go directly to the unconscious, subconscious mind and reprogram their personal neck-top computer. Normal spiral, looks like those licorice sweets you got when you were a kid, going wrong. The universal pattern of growth. This is the oldest symbol known to be used in spiritual practices. It reflects the ever-circling pattern of growth and evolution from the inside out. It represents the goddess, the womb, fertility and life force energy, reflected in the natural world. The spiral is found in human physiology, plants, minerals, animals, energy patterns, weather, growth and death. Nature, in other words. It is a sacred symbol that reminds us of our evolving journey in life. When used as a personal talisman, the spiral helps consciousness to accept the turnings and changes of life as it evolves. Looks much the same, except there's three of them stacked together. Looks a bit like one of those fidget spinners, if it had the bit in the middle that the kids have now, balance on the fingers and spin. Called the triade, triskel or triple spiral. This is an ancient Celtic symbol related to earthly life, the afterlife and reincarnation. It is drawn in one continuous line, suggesting a fluid movement of time, flexibility, adaptability, improvisation. Triades are one of the most common elements of Celtic art. They also evoke the universal concept of the domains of material existence, earth, water and sky, body, mind and spirit, and the eternally spiralling cycles of time. And time is just a man-made structure, construct anyway. Only 6 left. You'll be glad to hear. Yin and yang. You probably all know that. In everything good, there's some bad. In everything bad, there's some good. Balance it out. The Taoist symbol of the interplay of forces in the universe. This represents the unity between all opposites, the masculine and the feminine, the darkness and the light. Yin and yang symbolises the primal cosmic forces. Yin is receptive, passive, cold, feminine energy. Yang is I didn't write this, by the way, before you think I'm saying that women are cold and what's wrote down. Yang is masculine, movement, force and heat. The dark and light represent knowledge and ignorance. In a spiritual practice, use the yin yang to help maintain a balance between opposites and instill unity, personally and globally. In seeing the opposites, it is noted that each has a little of the other, which is often overlooked in life. Again, metaphor. The water hashma, which is, that actually might be one that's not on there. It isn't on there, but that's fine because you get them to draw this or make it, as we'll come to later. Basically, it's a hand with a pyramid on, with an eye in, the all-seeing eye.
It isn't that.
Pardon?
It isn't that. Top left. We had to, yep. Top left.
Oh, it is!
Yeah.
It's that big, I missed it. There you go. The more you look, the less you see. The water hamza. In Hebrew or Muslim faith, it offers protection against the evil eye. In this application, it offers protection for water, all water on the planet. It monitors the waters of the world and radiates protection from negative intent. Good, good. It will protect the water they're going to be drinking during the session. It must be true, it says it here. And obviously, this being peace, the international peace and anti-war symbol, with its origins in the 1950s and designed for the campaign for nuclear disarmament, this symbol is now widely recognised as a symbol for peace, the anti-war movement and a discouragement of conflict, which can be a metaphor for harmony, balancing things out. All of these can be twisted as metaphors, that's the point. It's for it to purposely, well not purposely, because nature's made it, that the thousands of websites say this is what they mean. And all the books say that. So whether it's true or not is irrelevant. That's what's credible to tell them. Which means, fortunately, we can manipulate that to any metaphor we want because they're all about changing, improving, balancing out, making unnatural into natural. It's what we do as therapists, or at least what we're perceived to do. The snake on the stick. That's one right. The Asclepius wand, something like that, often confused with the caduceus wand of Hermes. This is the true symbol of the medical profession. It has long been seen by many people as a symbol of healing. We can tell them that, let them know that. The image is there, the symbolism's there. It's like briefly digressing, but it all interlinks, and it will make sense by the end of the day, I promise you, as I give you more pieces of the jigsaw. The reason I come up with certain names for things, I have a system called Complete Mind Therapy, CMT. It's because CMT sounds a bit like CBT, Cognitive Behavioural Therapy, which has a connotation of being done through the conventional medical profession. I have logos that suggest things. I set up a company called the Mindcare Organisation, so your diplomas are endorsed by the Mindcare Organisation. It implies you're caring for somebody's mind. It also sounds medical without breaking any laws. We're not allowed to claim to be doctors, unless you've got medical qualifications, obviously, different matter. But we can create a perception of having the same prestige as a medical practitioner, which for I would say the majority of people gives you a positive result of them thinking that you're on the kind of same level. There are some people, don't get me wrong, who have no trust whatsoever in conventional doctors, and so to them it will be a negative if we seem to. So in that regard, that is why there is always going to be a market for winky wanky arty farty new age tree-hugging stuff as well, but that's going to particularly appeal to people who have no faith in the more stuck-up, shall we say, conventional, perceptional approach to things. The dove, white dove of peace, with its roots deeply associated with religion and spirituality, the dove is a message of hope, peace, serenity and freedom. Unlike its close cousin the pigeon, I don't know why they put that down, but unlike its close cousin the pigeon, doves are considered to be clean, oh that's why, to be clean, white and Virginian. Often seen carrying an olive branch, as it is, in itself the symbolic character of peace, forgiveness and new beginnings. Doves are often released at ceremonies for both weddings, symbolising love, and funerals, which can symbolise the passing from one state to another. So you could use that within a metaphor of letting go of the emotions and traumas of grief, of someone passing away. Or you could use it in the context it's suggesting here of helping settle a relationship dispute if you were doing couples counselling or something. And then finally we have the multicoloured number 8, infinity, rainbow infinity. The never-ending figure of continuity. The symbol is often thought of as a number 8 on its side. Yeah, well, that's what it is. In numerology, the number 8 is the karmic equaliser, a force that can just as easily create as it destroys. It is the symbol of balance, harmony, and of there being no limits. As such, it also represents forces that are much bigger than we can truly understand, comprehend, or imagine. With the additional colouring of the rainbow, so it looks nice, brackets often symbolising gifts and sexuality in various cultures, the rainbow infinity symbol can point to tremendous opportunities should we choose to see them. And there is a reason it ends up being the last on the list, because it's the reminder that that's what this is all about. The energy board is about opportunities, it's about flexibility, it's about making things up on the spot. But it's about, if anyone closely examines it, it being rooted in something they can perceive to have credibility, because for hundreds, if not thousands of years, people, religions, belief systems, tribes have said these things mean those things, have said they have these vibrational energies. So, you know, it gives it a credibility factor, perceptively. And that's all that matters, perceptions. So it can trigger off a belief. Now, there are some other images on the energy board that are not explained on the instruction sheet that you give to the client, and that's because the instructions for them, or the memory aids, are on the energy board itself. For example, this is a circle that's got a white area, a black, a red, a yellow and a green in the centre. Basically the top is north, the bottom is south, the yellow's east, the black is west, it's north, south, east, west, it's the 4 compass points. It's about directions in life, if you're using the metaphors. It's got memory aids on here for what each means, so white, air thing, animals, receive energy, mental aspect, wisdom and logic. Think about that for a couple of minutes. What could you do? You look down, what shall I do next? And you just happen to see yourself as the therapist. Air, animals. receive energy, mental aspect, wisdom and logic. Place your finger onto the white area. And as you've got your finger on that white area, just close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in through your nose, then out through your mouth. And just take a few moments in your mind now to think of whatever, if you had to choose an animal that represented that problem that bothered you in the past, what would that animal be? Take a few moments to see it in your mind. And it doesn't matter if it's not a real animal, it's alright, it can be a dragon or a unicorn, it can be absolutely anything you want. What is it? Eventually they'll say something. When they do, say that's fantastic. If you knew what animal that needed to become, so this could never bother you, worry you or concern you as it once did in the past, what would you need to change it into? Not name some other animal. In a very Ericksonian, yeah, that's right, kind of way, you can say, excellent, that's brilliant. So I'd like you to do on the count of 3 when I click my fingers like this, that very moment, that very second, that very instant, I click my fingers, that very moment, that very second, that very instant. I'd like you to, in your mind's eye, imagine taking that green dragon that you said it was, when it used to bother you, and turning it in whatever way you want, whether it's like scrubbing out a cartoon and drawing a new one. Maybe it's blowing that animal up because it's done bad things to you in the past. So metaphorically you might destroy it. Or it might just like got a fancy dress costume on, but as it does, it becomes permanent and changes into that new animal that's instead of a tiger. Do that now on the count of 3 and tell me when you've done that. 1, 2, 3. Right, and eventually we'll say yeah, and then you go, yeah, that's right. Notice how great that feels, how much better that feels inside right now as you realise that what once bothered you in the past is now gone completely, positively and permanently. And within you now is your inner tiger that you can draw upon as an automatic reflex action whenever you need to. I just made that up on the spot. But there's memory aids. If you look down at red, it'd say south, direction on the compass, water, plants, gives energy, emotional aspect, trust and innocence. I might suddenly in my head, as I just have, think, right, south. I'd have a compass in the office. Say to the client, I might have let them pick it, so pick a colour, or you've gone for red, or it says south, or they might pick east, because they pick yellow. Let them pick it, so they've got a sense of control, involvement, makes it psychosensory, being drawn into it. So they pick yellow, says east, give them the compass, they can pick east. Because it's very important for the next ritual or whatever that they're facing in the eastern direction. It's about doing things that seem important, delivering them with conviction, because then the client will buy into it. There's the other side that's got the red, white, yellow and black image. But if you look down on that, in the yellow it's the east, which obviously it is, the same as the other. But underneath it says children, eagle, tobacco, spring, fire. So if they were to pick, say, that yellow one, I might instinctively look at that and go, it says eagle. And they can see that with their own eyes. We say to them, well, look, it says eagle on there. But we're not making it up. This gives it credibility. It's a fucking energy board. It's got thousands of years of heritage in this. And you would get out your plastic eagle that you bought from an educational toy supply place. And you would do a ritual where they hold this eagle and close their eyes and take on the the ability to see things more clearly, to rise above situations and look down on them in a different perspective. It's all metaphor. It makes sense. You make this shit up as you go along. Seriously, you can. I am doing. No, I have actually no. I was at the time, because I'm still talking to Stu at this point. We're still in the pub, which is where we'll be going in about 10 minutes' time for lunch for those of you that want to join me. There's the circle at the bottom and the 2 coloured squares. They're the can't even say it, Grabovoi number sequences. So, you know, somebody says to you, yeah, oh, I feel stuck in this problem. Oh, it's an issue with the past, right? You could do timeline therapy with the toilet roll, like we've spoken about before. Or you could do timeline therapy with the energy balls, which I do. Is why I have 3 of them. It's about giving people choices as well. Because, you know, people feel trapped in life rather than an issue. It's because they feel held back or restricted, or that they don't have a choice in the matter. If we can give them opportunities to take control, make decisions, make choices that have a good outcome and make them feel good, that in itself is a powerful healing metaphor that they can continue to do that in their life. So, I have 3 of the energy balls, they're identical, but I say to them, I'd actually say to the client, okay, stand up. Therapy doesn't mean the client has to be sat down all the time. Make it fun as well. Movement, then it's real psychosensory. You say to them, look, there's 3 energy boards, take them, take a few moments just to give them a mix for yourself so that you feel like